We've got a Game 7 in the West. One game to decide who will join Minnesota in the conference finals between the Denver Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah, NBA. Straya, how are you going? Hey, going, are you right? TGIF, am I right? I'm sure you're probably doing better than your mate hungover Jim. I'll get to that in a second. This is NBA Straya. It is Friday, 2GIF, May 16, all day. I'm your host, James Clements. A bit dusty from last night. Here in Larry Armour Studios, we're talking Nuggets forcing Game 7, baby! Thanks, Zaza. We're going to wrap that up in the NBA Australia game wraps, which is pretty fun. A little bit of other news, not much. Golden State sort of wrapping up their season. The Suns are getting sued again. But we've still got That's on an iPhone, mate. No, mate, Spud of the night. Better than Lonzo Ball. Some Now's the unpopular opinion of the day. Outback Takehouse, where we're serving up a flame grilled take. We've got Magic Tweet of the Week, Dickhead of the Week. A quick little check-in with the Andrew Gaze Great MAMBA Award and a Luke Longley Memorial Role Player of the Week. And a pick and preview for an insane Game 6 tomorrow, Boston, New York, which is pretty fun. We'll also very briefly check in with the Aussie draftees, potential draftees, in place of the Australian Player Watch. So strap in, let's get into it. Episode 1270 of NBA Australia. Let's go!
Hey, what's up? This is Nick Hexum from 311, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
Watch out for the Shack attack.
Wah, you better. Or you better watch out for the one too many beers attack if you're your mate Jim. That's right. Let's start there with the daily whip around. How was the living end last night, Jim? Really fucking good. Like seeing a band like the living end of the fucking corner just rocks, right? The problem is, like, a place like the corner, when it's sold out, it's a bit tough to sort of like navigate, get to the bar, see if you're short. I'm not that short, so it's all good, but, you know, there with a mate of mine, fucking she can't see shit. But either way, it kicked ass. And the thing is, with a crowd like the living end, where you've got like different strata of ages, I'm not going to lie, they all look kind of like me. They're just old, or maybe on a bit chunky side, I don't know. But it fucking ruled. I had a great night. But, and this is where the Shack attack comes in, I love two things. You know, basketball, family, boring shit like that. But also, when you're out and about, you get recognized. It's fucking awesome. Love that. And two, when people go, that's an awesome beard, you're like, yes, thank you, I grew it myself. Chuckle, chuckle, chuckle. What is a bit odd is when people go, can I touch it? Like, I had one dude last night, like, basically sort of fondle the bottom of my beard like he was tickling my balls. It made myself, my friend, and his other mate pretty uncomfortable. The thing is, I don't kind of fucking care, right? Like, he was polite enough to ask if he could touch the beard before he touched it, right? Like, that's all that sort of matters. Once you ask and I say yes, fucking have at it, we're all good. Don't fucking tug on it like the 2-year-old or anything. Like, the baby squid's a fucking lunatic. He'll be like, Dad, come here. Punk. Oh, Jesus. But still, 3 different people last night were like, can I touch your beard? It's like, sure. I did also have this weird moment where I have doppelrangers, right? Now, I can say ranger. That's our word. If you use it, you have to spell it with an A. I can use the hard ER, ranger. So there was a couple of other blokes there with big red beards. And it's one of those moments where I'm like, ooh, Spider-Man meme. And then you have that other moment of like, fuck, we all look alike, don't we? Yes, I'm racist towards other redheads. It's how it rolls. Anyway, it was a great night. Thanks for everyone who said g'day. I had a fucking awesome night. Legends out there, living end rule. Should get them on the show. Right. Other news. We saw yesterday the draft leverage season has begun with the Mavs. Oh, yeah, we're definitely taking Cooper Flagg. There is no sort of trade out there that we would even possibly entertain for the number one pick. So send me some trades, says Nico. The same thing went for San Antonio at number 2. And now what you're seeing is a lot more sort of jostling in the back half of the lottery, which is really interesting, where it's like, what does Chicago want to do? What is Charlotte going to do it for? Are they going to move this pick for someone more established? What's fucking going to go on in Philly? And I'm loving every second of it. The cool thing is we're like another month and a half of that too. So strap in. As I mentioned at the top, the wash from the Golden State Warriors being eliminated yesterday. Everyone's fronting the media and saying, yeah, all the good things, right? They're excited. They're excited to get together and try to make this work. And Golden State, when they lose Curry, it's the same with Boston losing Tatum. It fucking sucks, but also, like, it just gives you an easy out from the season. You're like, yes, had we have had Steph or Tatum, we might have had a bit of more of a crack at going to the finals, maybe winning. And it doesn't happen, right? And I think the approach from Golden State, when they all front the media, like Steph's out there going, look, there's a lot of chatter whether it was the right trade. From the first night in Chicago, it was a seamless fit. We complement each other so well. He gave us so much belief. It was a success. Now you have to build off that. And Jimmy Butts is like, I get to be around my guys in the off season. We're gonna go get to vacay together. I can't believe he said vacay. Apparently Jimmy Butler's like a fucking Instagram chick influencer. We're going to vacay together. Amazing. We're going to go get our kids together. We're going to go get to train together, build even more chemistry. I hope it's not a train in the Phoenix Suns sense, but I'll leave that one to you. But still, it was kind of nice. And like when you see a team get eliminated, like there wasn't that much sort of like, where fuck, dude. Like the vibe wasn't too much of a massive downer. And that's what happens when you're missing Steph. Draymond is like, look, Minnesota's super fucking talented. I hope they win the finals. And you're like, that's kind of nice of you, Draymond, considering you want to tear fucking Rudy Gobert's head off every 2 seconds. And then finally, the only other little bit of news today, apart from, I guess, the Tatum injury stuff, where it came out that they did his surgery mere hours after the injury. And this is fucking fascinating. Now, remember, I'm not a medical doctor anymore. But the way that people have talked about this, they're like, that fucking rocks, because that basically cuts down on the sort of essentially the recuperative rehab process begins that much sooner, that as it's like that fucking fresh. Who knows what's going to happen now, but it's pretty interesting. It was interesting to hear some other, writers and stuff talk to the likes of Justin Tatum, Jason Tatum's dad, who's out there coaching Indonesia, I want to say. I can't remember. But either way, and it's like, yeah, he's like, just fucking pumped, can't wait to get back to the Celtics. And you're like, sure, that's good. He might have negative aura, but he seems like a good dude, and you do not want injuries to derail careers like that. That can be absolutely special. The Suns, that's the last little bit of news. They are being sued for the 4th time by a current or former part of the organization in the last 7 months. Seems like everything's fucking fine there in Phoenix, eh? Yeesh. I mean, what's going on over there? It's pretty fucking bad.
This is horrible. There's no other way to put it.
This one was Gene Taylor, the Suns' Director of Safety, Security, and Risk Management, who only joined at the start of 2023, right? So it turns out he submitted a presentation that outlined specific incidents, like that were like basically his job to go, that's fucked, this is fucked. What are we doing here? And apparently he's then like, well, yeah, then I did that presentation and the Suns or like management were like, don't point that shit out. You're demoted. And they also discouraged him from taking protected leave after he's diagnosed with cancer. Now, having lived and worked in the USA, not too many things shock you about just the dumb fuckery and the assholery that goes on with some corporations over there. But the Phoenix Suns should you feel like they should know better after all the shit that they've gone through. And this is still happening. What a fucking absolute clown show over there in Phoenix. Hey, let's do the game wrap from today. Game wrap. The game wrap from today, Denver OKC, Game 6. What a game it was. This game fucking rocked. And the first half was just such a fucking amazing tussle. Like, you had foul trouble for SGA, which is where the game turns. But early on, it's just like a bit of a fucking back and forth. There's a lot of grifting going on early as well, a bit of foul grifting. And suddenly we're just like, oh, unethical basketball, but they're both doing it. Denver, in the second quarter, like OKC just putting one on them. Denver like led at home. The place is going off its head. Jokic is fantastic. Jamal is absolutely crushing it too. But then suddenly you turn around and Denver are down 12 in the second quarter. And you're like, what the fuck is happening? OKC just sort of like wrested control of the game. Their defense had really kicked in. Denver couldn't hit any shots. And the big problem was like they just couldn't hit a fucking shot by anyone like not named Jamal Murray or Nikola Jokic, right? They come back on. SGA goes off with another foul. And wha-bang! Denver tied it up. It was absolutely absurd how SGA goes and sits. And I mean, this is a little bit of the Adam Silver behind the scenes. We got to make sure we get a Game 7. I'm just saying. But also SGA, like there's a couple of weird... His fourth foul was one of the dumbest fucking fouls you'll see. It was completely unnecessary. Like, what are you doing, SGA? You got to have like a better head on your shoulders in that point. But it let Denver get back into this game. They get on this awesome run, and then Dort hits a three to beat the buzzer at the halftime. So 61-58 at the half. And really, like Jamal Murray was incredible. He was plus 11 in the 19 minutes. They were minus 5 without him. They basically could not afford to play their bench, Denver. And you sort of go into this, you go, well, fuck, are they going to have to play their starters for the entire second half? Like, this is a Denver thing. Your backs are against the wall. It's an elimination Game 6. You're at home. You're used to the conditions at altitude. Can you run your dudes out there? And then the Julian Strawther game hits. And it's absolutely fucking immense. So it's absolutely incredible. Like, Michael Porter Jr. actually woke up at the start of the third and actually hit a couple of shots, which kept them afloat. It's still tied 80-80 with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. And I think the most disturbing thing was that Denver's defense was just like a little split second slow. Like the penetration that Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein, hello, and even SGA, like anytime they go to the bucket, it felt like Denver just could not just keep anybody in front of them. And then there's these weird little back cuts and they're just losing dudes. And you're like, oh, this doesn't look good, because this is where OKC just starts slicing and dicing you. 80-80, as I said. And then whoopang, bang. Oh my God, it's Julian Strawther's music. He just goes off his fucking head. He hits a three. Jamal hits a shot. He hits another three. Then he has this sick alley-oop. The place is going off its head. It's a 10-0 run. Right at the end of the third quarter, before a bullshit foul at the end of the quarter basically gets it to 90-82. And Strawther, like, just in this little period, when they get into like the fourth quarter, there's this run where he scored 10 points and OKC has scored 6 for basically like 5 minutes of game time. And OKC's threes just weren't dropping. And then, 7-8 minutes left in this fourth quarter, Denver are just like, oh shit, I think we're okay. They get up like 16. Jokic has hit a 3 finally. Strawther just gives them something that they've not had basically all series, which is help off the bench. Brown was playing out of his fucking head. Strawther's playing awesome. And they're up 16 and you're laughing. J-Dub can't buy a bucket. And then it all starts getting a little bit squirrely, right? Denver, these horrible turnovers. They give up like a 6-0 run. Suddenly it's a 10-point game. And you're like, what the fuck just happened? And then it's a 9-point game. And you're like, if they hit a shot here, oh my God, they force a turnover. Jalen Williams misses another 3. If he had hit that game, hit that shot, this game would have been right up for grabs. Instead, they run away with it essentially down the stretch. They just sort of keep them at arm's length and force a Game 7 to win this game, 119-107. And it should have been a lot more. And it's a testament to Denver's sort of, I don't know, veteran know-how, heart of a champion, that kind of vibe, that they did just hold their nerve at the end. It didn't get too squirrely, but fuck me dead. Like, some of those turnovers, you're like, dude, if Jalen Williams can hit a fucking shot, you guys would be in trouble. He blew a dunk that even then, like, that would have given them a bit more of a sniff. Instead, he completely fucking sank them. SJ was still grifting his way to his points total at the end of the game, but just was not enough for OKC. And then we have the two greatest words in NBA. Game 7, baby! Thanks, Zaza. So OKC shoot 46% from the floor, 27% from three. And this is obviously a big one. It's like they and Boston have a very similar approach. Like, if a couple of dudes off their bench hit threes, you might just be fucked. But instead today, Aaron Wiggins goes 0 of 4. Despite, 4 of 10 from Caruso and Case and Wallace. Jalen Williams is pretty good, but Isaiah Joe gave them nothing. And when then J-Dub doesn't fire, and I think I tweeted out, I think his name might be J-Dub because every second game he fucking sucks. Like, what are we doing? 3 of 16, J-Dub completely sinks OKC on like 4 different occasions, and you're like, dude, brutal. He still had 10 assists and 7 rebounds, but it was just a tough fucking game, right? SJ ends up with 32, 3 and 6, 8 of 11 at the free throw line. Shoots 11 of 16, but because no one really sort of came with him late, it was just a little bit too late. Too little too late, right? Because Chet, can't fucking speak today. It's probably the Tins last night, Jim. Yes. Chet, Dort, and Hartenstein. They were sort of like keeping them going, right? Around the edges. If J-Dub's going to be shit, we know the SJ is going to be okay. They were the ones keeping the offense afloat. And then when suddenly they couldn't get a bucket, it all fell in a fucking heap. Like, Chet finishes with 19 and 11. Really, really good game from him. But 2 of 7 from 3. There's a couple of those where like, oh, God. Dort hits 2 of 7 from 3 as well. He had a couple of open ones late where you're like, dude, hit that, and you're laughing. And Isaiah Hartenstein, he finishes the 8 and 6. Very, very up and down game for him as well, right? But you can't ask for too much. Caruso ends up with 10. There you go. OKC just not quite enough on offense, and their defense got to a point where when the found money of Julian Strawther and Christian Brown is just killing you, they didn't get their dudes to respond in kind. So Denver finished with 14 turnovers, but they win the rebounding battle 52-40. Pretty crazy. This is despite Aaron Gordon maybe pinging a hammy late and finishing with a 5, 7, and 7. He's been like one of the best players in all the playoffs. And like, he had a quiet game today, but was still impactful. Big steal at the end. Well, stopping at least a fucking fast break. Jamal Murray, 25, 8, and 7. Awesome game from him. Jokic, 29, 14, and 8. Just absurd shit, right? It's just what Jokic does. He's there, woke up feeling a fucking surd, mate. And off he goes. Strawther, what a game. 15 points. He was absolutely unreal. Brown has 23, 11, and 5. Whoa. What a game from him. He has been the find of this series. Rusty, 8 and 3. And a bunch of just pants-shitting moments for that fucking poor Denver crowd every time we touch the ball. Michael Porter Jr. finishes with a 10 and 4. It's a slight improvement on just being dog shit. So, but either way, Denver, heart of a champion. David Adelman was like just fucking freaking out. It felt like at times. He's like, why the fuck do we keep turning it over? Dude, stop doing that. Fuck. And I'm like, yeah, I do not envy NBA coaches. Well, I do envy their pay packets, but fucking hell. Either way, the Nuggets have now played 9 games in the last 17 days. And they've won 8 of the last 11 quarters of this series. It's insane. Absolutely insane. 3-3. We're going back to OKC for a Game 7, baby, on Monday morning. All right, NBA Australia Pro Performance of the night. Who's this going to go to?
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Jamal Murray. That's a fucking knife when he plays well. We talked about this with Chris Anstey the other day because he and I watched Game 5, right? And the correlation of Jamal Murray playing well and Denver winning is crazy fucking high. They didn't win that game, but they gave it a real shake. This time, he was fucking fantastic. And he was also sick as a dog to the point where they're like, I don't know if Jamal can go. He went and he kicked ass. 25, 8, and 7. 1 block. Yes, he had 5 turnovers, but he was a plus 28 in 42 fucking minutes. While sick as a dog. That's insane gear. So that was a fucking performance for the ages. And of course, Nikola Jokic, honorable mention, 29, 14, and 8. 1 of 3 from deep. When he hit that 3, it was just like, yeah, pack her up, boys. I think you're done now. So great job by them. And we're going to talk about Strawther again in a second. But who was Spud of the night?
Spud, 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 it is Spud of the night.
Well, there's a reason Julian Strawther was able to go off, because Peyton Watson couldn't hit a fucking shot. He went 1 of 7. It was brutal. They were like, this is how bad the rest of the bench was, right? Peyton Watson went 1 of 7 in 13 minutes, and they were a minus 10. Jesus. Rusty played 16 minutes, had 8 points and 8 shots, and they were a minus 11. Julian Strawther played 20 minutes, they're a plus 3. Holy shit, he was good. But of course, the spud of the night's got to be Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams, not Jalen. Jalen Williams, 6 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds. Jim, that's not too bad. He shot 3 of 16. 16! He's taken as many shots as SGA and hit basically as a quarter of as many. Like, SGA goes 11 of 16. J-Dub goes 3 of 16. Brutal. Absolutely spud gear. How about old mate, no mates, though?
Old mate, no mates. Old mate, no mates.
Old mate, no mates.
Old mate, no mates.
Old mate, no mates.
Old mate, no mates.
Who's got no mates today? I very much enjoyed the old mate no mates is very clearly the bloke who got busted on the Jumbotron yesterday during the Wolves game, just having a couple of nose beers, just tapping out a little something on the back of his hand, and off he goes, bang, just doing a quick line. Your mate's on his phone, and unbeknownst to either of you, you're on the fucking Jumbotron. Like, seriously, just imagine that. You're just having a couple of quiet nose beers in the crowd. You're busted on the fucking Jumbotron. It goes all over the internet. How is that call from work the next day? Yeah, g'day, Jim. So, did you go to the basketball last night, eh? Oh, yeah? Why? Yeah, I don't know. Have you looked at the internet today? No. Why? Yeah, you're fired. It's fucking brutal. Just, I can't believe it's getting to the point where you can't do rack at a basketball game anymore. Like, what are we doing here? No. That dude is full-blown old mate, no mates. Like, his mates will be like, legend, but everybody will be like, oh, that dude got fired. It's like a quiet night with the boys. You're telling the missus, yeah, me and fucking Steve, we're just going to go to the game. We're pretty chill. And then she fucking opens up Twitter the next day and she's like, what did you guys get up to? Pantsing of the night. This also goes to J-Dub. I mentioned the blown dunk. It was so egregious. Like, 5 minutes 40 left. It's 102.88. Fast break dunk for J-Dub. Completely bonks it. Just blows it so badly. Like, I don't know how many times you can see someone so down on confidence and just so ice cold that they literally just miss a dunk. Like, it's a fast break. There's like no one really challenging the shot. He just blows the dunk. It was fucking crazy. It's just like, yeah, you literally could not get more cold. So, obviously better than Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. We're coming for everybody.
Julian Strawther, obviously, what a game. The Julian Strawther game. He saved the Denver Nuggets from elimination. 80-80 this game. 80-80. He then outscores OKC by himself for like 5 minutes of game time. Absolutely fucking huge. Ends up with 15 points. He crushed it. That was awesome. The legend of Julian Strawther continues. Talk about as well, like OKC's out there playing like 9 dudes per game, 10 dudes sometimes, depending on how much they trust Isaiah Joe, really. And then Denver's like, rusty shit today. Fuck. Peyton Watson can't hit a shot. Fuck. Oh, Julian Strawther's good today. Sick. 15 points, a +3, 2 rebounds, 4 of 8 shooting, 3 of 4 from downtown. That is better than Benny Simmons, Lonzo Ball, and Bronny James all put together. How a boot. Everyone's favorite, though. I love this, too. It's just such a good one this week. It's time for the Magic Tweet of the Week. The Boston Celtics blew out the NY Knicks last night with 6 players in double figures, including Jaylen Brown with 26 points and 12 assists, Derek White with 34 points, and Peyton Pritchard with 17 points. Oh, thanks, Magic. But he has to jump back in. Jaylen, apostrophe, or star, because he misspelled Jaylen Brown. Thanks, Magic. Thanks for clearing that up. I did love this one, though, because there's another great one. We'll just leave with this one. There are 6 players, brackets 3 from each team, who will decide who wins Game 6 of the Knicks versus Celtics series. The Knicks players, OG Anunoby, Karl Anthony Towns, and Mikal Bridges, and the Celtics players, Derek White, Jrue Holiday, and Peyton Pritchard, must have big games. Whichever 3 players from each team that have the most combined total points will win Game 6. Yeah, I mean, usually, if you score more points than the other team, you win, Magic. So I understand that he's like, these 3 groups of people, and proceeds to basically go, the 3 next best players after Jalen Brunson, and then the same thing on the Celtics, the next 3 best players after Jaylen Brown. What do we say? Thanks, Magic. I guess. And finally, Dickhead of the Week.
Dickhead of the Week!
On a surprise twist, the Draymond Green Memorial Draymond Green Dickhead of the Week award goes to Draymond Green! Come on down, yeah! Woo! Draymond! When you're getting shit on by Kendrick Perkins, boom, and Udonis Haslem saying, where you at, homie? You didn't show up when your team needed you the most. He don't even want to be out there, let the damn team. He got his ass handed to him in this series. It's like, okay. Yeah, he did. And this is like my favorite part of the Draymond Green experience, when he talks so much shit. He's so fucking loud. I'm not an angry black man. Fucking, it's an outrage that this ridiculous is being, perpetuated through the fucking media. I don't know what agenda people are pushing. And then he just proceeds to punch Jordan Poole in the head again. But when someone talks that amount of shit and then gets hit, i.e. knocked out of the playoffs, because he fucking basically just isn't good enough to carry a team with Jimmy Butler and no Steph, and no shows a bunch of these games, you hate to see it. Also, him being fined $50,000 for bringing the game into disrepute is pretty fucking funny. 5.5 points. That's the line. It's like, okay, yeah, good job, Draymond. Covering yourself in glory once more. All right, let's do some yeah-nahs right after this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Darryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA
and you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, let's do some yeah-nahs. Brought to you by you. That's right. Shout us a beer. Shout us a coffee. However you want to, support the show if you want to. The link is in our bio. You can go buy Jim a beer. You can shout us a coffee, whatever you want to do. You can sign up to be a member as well. You get an exclusive podcast once a month as well. About essentially whatever the fuck I feel like. It's going to be awesome. So you can go to the link in our bio. Shout us a coffee, shout us a beer. You can sign up for a membership or you can just donate. Massive thanks to all the legends who've already done so. You all fucking rock. I think McKeegan did yesterday. We've got Jez, Anthony G. You got Davey and Zachy B. Who else do we have? We had another one. yesterday too. But all legends, much appreciated. There's a couple in there too. So, go shout us a beer if you want. Links in the bio. Also, massive shout to Mitch McCarron. So you just heard him in that drop. He and Jason Kadee, two people in that drop, have actually retired over this offseason. So, legend Mitch McCarron, one of the nicest dudes you'll ever fucking meet. Same with Kadee, actually. So, yeah, bit of a shame. Should get them both on the show. Right, let's do some yeah-nahs. Hey, Jim! Are OKC going to flame out? Yeah, nah! We'll talk about that in a second when we get to the game preview for Monday. But this does feel like, and this is why I picked Denver for today's game, the heart of a champion, you're going home. You just have to get this done, right? And it looked like OKC were going to run away with that game. And then Denver just fucking nutted up, fucking bared down and shit, and just went, right, boys, come on. And then Julian Strawther brought him home. So, OKC, though, you know that home crowd is going to be absolutely off its tits. And it does feel like this is the exact moment where the rubber hits the road for a really young, awesome team, right? Who has won a fuck ton of games, but hasn't won much else. Like, they're a young team. A playoff series or two does not a championship make. Denver know how to do that. We've got a game 7. We're going to learn so fucking much about these teams. I can't wait for it too. But just to sort of think that it's fait accompli, but because they are the younger, less experienced team, means automatically they're going to lose game 7. It doesn't happen that way all the time. Remember last year, Denver lost to Minnesota in the exact same way. So anyway, I'm fucking stoked for that game 7. I can't wait. I do put a bit of stock in, like, you know, getting your scars, your playoff scars. But as Karl Anthony Towns said, like, what, last year, how much did you want us to lose, man? He's got that kind of wheedly kind of voice. Anyway, let's do some yeah-nahs from the listeners. Brad McKeegan. Jim, yeah, nah. Am I crazy? But if Brad Stevens wanted to fix his cap without destroying their future, he should give Nico a ring and see what he could get for Kobe 2.0 and Jason Tatum. Yeah, it would be bold to trade Tatum in his prime, but him being out for a year in their cap space situation, if you got Flag, another first, and maybe Clay, would you do it? Yeah, nah! Holy fucking shit, Tatum for number 1. I don't think Dallas do it, right? And I don't think Boston would do it either, but it would sort of fix their cap thing. And you know that he would become Larry Bird 2.0, Cooper Flag, if he ended up in fucking Boston, right? Dude, I don't know what it is about this fucking team kid, but I fucking love him, dude. Yeah, there's something that just is quite white about this team, he says. But yeah, I don't think either team would do it, but it's a fucking fascinating idea. Tatum for number 1. But because Dallas, I mean, they're already missing Kyrie, maybe they'd be like, fucking sure. We're riding off next year anyway, right? But the problem is, because they've got Anthony Davis and they've already got Kyrie and a bunch of other vets, they can't really just go, well, we'll trade number 1 for like no Jason Tatum this year, but some more years of post-Achilles tear Tatum. I just don't think you do it. But it's Nico Harrison. Who the fuck knows? He might be calling Boston right now going, so you know how much I loved Kobe? And Brad Stevens like, yes, I do. So does everybody. He's like, yeah, fucking, I don't know, something about Jason Tatum. I feel like he knew Kobe, so I might have to get him. Do you want number 1, Brad? And Brad's like, you have to take Jrue Holiday, and I need a couple more of your picks. McKeegan also adds you could then maybe flip Jrue as well for cheaper bits to help ease the cap and get some scorers in to fill Tatum's points. It is a fascinating thought sort of experiment. And Nico Harrison does have the world's biggest boner about Kobe and people who knew Kobe. So fuck it. Yeah, just do it. Because he's already chubbing up me talking about it, Nico Harrison. He's just chubbing up because he's like, that's right, Jason Tatum did know Kobe. Oh, fuck. What's Brad Stevens' number? Jez Oz. This is a good one. Hey, Jim, love the Anstey show. I know the mic was fucked, but you definitely said live show at Hotel Trentham, yeah? Yeah, nah, yes. I'm pretty sure we will tee that up. Live show out at Chris's Pub, which would be very fun. So if you want to come hang out, we'll have further details. I got a yeah, nah too. Jimmy Butler is the actual most overrated player in the NBA, and not Halliburton, and not just this season, but basically since he left the Bulls. Yeah, nah. It is really, really, really hard to find a more overrated player, I think, than playoff Jimmy. The runs on the board that Jimmy Butler has, though, with Miami, where every so often it would go fucking squirrely and he's like getting them to the finals, you're like, it's pretty good. But all the hullabaloo about, oh man, Jimmy Butler wants a trade. Jimmy Butler wants a trade. And then it kind of just always goes a bit fucky. Like his series for Philly, if Philly had have just kept Jimmy Butler and not screwed up that situation so fucking hilariously royally, there is no doubt in my mind Philly would have won a title. Ben Simmons probably doesn't become a head case, and Embiid probably doesn't have to do so much, and here we are. But anyway, in terms of overratedness, yeah, I mean, statistically, you just know that he can get to a specifically other level in the playoffs, and that's why he's playoff Jimmy. But the problem is he's now old as fuck, has played a million years, and yeah, you just saw Steph Curry goes out. Jimmy Butler's got zero butt left because he fell on his ass, remember? And you sort of get to this point, it's like, ooh, if he wasn't injured, would it be a different story? It's like, I don't know. I just don't know how much he's got left in the tank. It's like, yeah, he's got a sore bum because he fell on it, remember? But he still had like, what, fucking 26 shots in game 3 or whatever the fuck it was in this series. And then down the stretch just didn't do shit. So I tend to kind of agree a little bit with Jez about him being the most overrated. Halliburton at least puts up fucking like, again, the correlation. He has 20 and 10, they win, right? Very simple. And it's like his personality that helps keep that indie thing pointing in the right direction of not being a fucking overbearing dickhead, super duper star, and being a sort of humble dude who's just kind of cool. And Jimmy Butler, who is just by all accounts a fucking maniac. It's like that's good for a limited amount of time. And if he's not fucking actually then backing it up with the performance on the court, yeah, it's a pain in the ass and it's going to be derailing your team like it did Miami. Weaves has got a good one. Yeah, nah, an Achilles injury is now more debilitating than an ACL. Yeah, nah, I think it always was. To be honest, like I think an Achilles for years and years and years, like it was almost a death sentence for like many, many careers, right? Like remember Dominic Wilkins did his, Isaiah Thomas did his, the first one. But once Kobe did his and came back, Kevin Durant did his and came back. Like it's not quite the death sentence, but I think it probably slows you down more post recovery than an ACL. So yeah, it definitely, I think it's a much more debilitating injury. Just saying. Unpopular opinion of the day. Press the button, Jim. Come on.
Now look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
If OKC don't win this series, are we thinking about what we can get for Jalen Williams and a bunch of picks? Are we sitting here going, fucking, there's a Greek bloke up there in Milwaukee? Or, how about if you want to prize Kevin Durant away from Phoenix without giving up too much, surely J-Dub and like a pick will get that done. Phoenix will go, J-Dub's good. Fuck yeah. Just saying, bring Kevin home. Let's do it. And finally, a bit of Outback Takehouse for you Friday. It's Friday at Outback, and you know what that means? That's right, 4-for-1 TGIF icy cold oil drum cans full of Foster's fucking lager. It's Aussie for beer. Jim didn't get any of these last night. Ended up with a pint of Carlton Draft at the end of it. Fucking that was probably the one that tipped me over the edge, that last one too. Bloody hell. Either way, 4-for-1 oil drum cans of Foster's lager. Only at Outback. Goes great with a flame grilled take. And my flame grilled take is Ant-Man is on such a fucking tear of killing all the old greats. In the past, he's already done what? Kevin Durant, Nikola Jokic. This postseason alone, like, he's like knocked over fucking Luka, LeBron, and now Steph, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond. There is no way that Minnesota is not winning the fucking title now. Only at Outback. I think they're probably my pick at the moment, but I still think we get a New York-Minnesota finals. And if that happens, holy shit, that could go 7. The Knicks could win the fucking NBA finals. They have to win this series still, though, so just saying. But either way, the Flame Girl take might be the Boston are a better team without Jason Tatum. Get to that in a second. All right, Australian Player Watch. This is just a very brief look in at how the boys are doing at the draft combine. By which I mean, obviously, the legends. Alex Tui. Ben Henschel is over there as well. Alex Condon was sort of like throwing out his whether or not he's going to go back to Florida. And you've got Lockie Olbrich and Rocco Zukowski. So Rocco measured as the biggest player, and like the fucking film of him shooting threes and the fucking standing reach jump. Oh, unbelievable. So scrimmages though, you've got Tui having a pretty good run of it at the moment. And Olbrich had 15 and 10 in the first game. Shout out to Supercoach Pleb, NBL Pleb, who actually collated all that stuff, right? And then you saw in the scrimmage number 2, Olbrich is like doing pretty bloody well. And in the second one, he had 13 and 12, did Lockie Olbrich. Tui had 7, 6 and 2 in 24 minutes and 3 steals. And Henschel had 10 and 3. So it's basically like them trying to work on their stock for maybe in the case of Tui getting into the back end of the first round. Olbrich, maybe even similar. I don't know. I don't think he gets there. But Rocco's a fascinating one because like we had Anstey on Wednesday's show, and his like thing was like, yeah, don't be surprised if Rocco keeps going rising because he's fucking super talented, right? So we'll see what happens. Good to see him. It'll be good to see him out there and actually having a bit of a run round. But fun times. And now Alex Condon, I mean, he's a pretty interesting prospect for the fact that I think if he goes back to Florida, you never know just how much like that'll impact his draft stock for next year. So he said this the other day, I got to get that almost guaranteed. I know that I'm in that 20 to 35 range right now, but you know, I've got a good situation waiting for me at Florida. It has to be a good situation for me to stay in the draft, but feedback I'm getting from teams right now is positive, and I'm ready to stay if I need to. Good head on his shoulders. We'll see what happens there. Right. Otherwise, that's it for the Australian Player Watch because none of the other boys are actually playing. I just wanted to hit on another Andrew Gaze Gray MAMBA Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence. So I've just banged on about Ant-Man, right? So
Andrew Gaze Gray MAMBA.
Outstanding achievement here.
So Ant-Man, so I've talked about him like just cutting a swathe through the rest of the NBA and like the old heads. He's also one of the only players in NBA history with 20 points, 10 assists, 3 blocks, and 5 made threes in a three-pointer. There are 2 players who have done that. It's Dame Lillard and Ant-Man. It's pretty bloody good. He's also now the only player in franchise history for the Wolves to win 20 playoff games, which is fucking absurd. So as I said though, like if the Wolves were to win the title, I think it is the longest championship win and appearance drought in the major sports, right? Of any market with all 4. I think the D-backs in 2001 were right there as well. So since 1991, the Wolves have gone 0-8 in conference championship game series. The Vikings are 0-4. The Wolves are 0-2. The Twins are 0-1. The Wild are 0-1. So that's like, just they've made a conference finals. Just make the finals, Minnesota. That's all people want to see you do. And then the Luke Longley Award for Role Player of the Week. This has to go to Aaron Gordon, who like 5, 7, and 7 today. Looked to like he tweaked his hamstring. If Aaron Gordon is in any way impinged for Game 7, that's a fucking huge blow for Denver because they're so fucking good when he's on. And like he didn't have a great game today, but because they had Strother going off and Christian Brown going absolutely mental, they were fine eventually. He brings so much, and he's been like literally, if you want to name like the 3 best players in these playoffs, he's probably there. Like he's done absolutely everything. Game winners, overtime forces, he's out there doing it all. All right, how about a bit of a Patty Mills game day ball or game day Twitter check-in before we preview the weekend's games? Patty with a good air. I think Patty had a new... There he is, one new post. Gave Night Tales the new straight, the label collection. They wore it on stage. Oh, that's good. So he's getting the DJ dudes up there and he's having a dance side of stage. Good on you, Patty. Night Tales. They're all about straight the label. Oh, that's nice. Just out there being a legend. Thanks, Patty Mills. How do we all feel about Patty Mills as well? The rumors about him going to Perth. I mean, we talked about this the other day with Chris about him basically maybe even being on United. What do you reckon? Does he have one more go-around in the NBA or is he coming home? Feels like he's coming home, right? Patty, come on the show. Just full of invites today. Hey, let's do the game previews for the weekend. Game previews. Thanks, Inadvertent Bane. Not a problem, Jim. How's it all going? Oh, yeah, bit dusty fucking rolling into do rehab with the physio. Jesus, it's like I got a bung Achilles, got to do all this sort of shit. And I'm just sweating bullets from too many beers. But anyway, let's do some game previews for the weekend, shall we? Woo! You can find all the picks, of course, over at Dabble. Use the code NBA Straya. Sign up using the link in our bio or the link in the show description. Click on that, take you through there. Sign up. Use the code NBA Straya as well. You can follow and copy all of our picks. We had a million. I think we've actually nailed, I think it might be 7 straight game picks against the line these playoffs. 7 straight. Just saying, that's pretty fucking good. Come on, man. What more do you want me to do? We should actually check that. I do actually have the numbers there for how we're doing for the playoffs percentage-wise against the line. I believe it is at 60%. Is it 60? We have gotten 43 correct out of a total of 69 games. So 43 to 26. Just saying, we're pretty fucking good. And tomorrow we have Boston in New York. Game 6. You know the Knicks are going to be absolutely frothing about this. Why and how could Boston possibly win this game, Jim? Well, they are 31-22 without Jason Tatum over his career when he's not played, right? This year alone, they are 10-2 without Jason Tatum. They are 3-0 against teams who are above 500. Could the Celtics beat New York to force Game 7? Yeah, nah. I'm going to go nah. The Heart of a Champion vibe is great. It feels like they had their Heart of a Champion moment in Game 5 to send this to Game 6. You ride the emotion of not having Tatum there. You're at home. You have your own crowd. Jaylen Brown was so fucking good in that game, but you know that Tibbs would just like, hey, we can't let Jaylen Brown, who can't fucking dribble to his left, beat us again. Is Derek White going to hit 7 threes at MSG? Who knows? But if they can just go, let's not let Jaylen Brown dictate this game, the Knicks win, I think. So it's a 2.5 point line. I was very, very, very tempted to go Boston plus 2.5. For the simple fact that if like New York win it, it could be just like games 1 and 2 where it's super fucking duper close and they get there right at the end. But I think the Knicks get this done. And I think they win it, maybe not super comfortably because Boston's still pretty fucking good defensively, but with the extreme zinger meal. Hey, what happened to the music? Jeez, that was weird. Extreme zinger meal. He is, more cooked than one of the old man snags at this point. And no Tatum, it gets real fucking hard. Defensively, offensively, Boston's still a really fucking good team. I'm still pretty tempted to take the plus 2.5 because remember, these games have all been super obviously games 1 and 2 were crazy close to the point where it was like 1 point in each of them or whatever. And then you get to this point of like, but the Knicks at home beat them by 8 in Game 4, beat them by 1 and by 3 in Games 2 and 1. I think the Knicks, it'll be a bit more like game 4, I think, the 121-113 game. I think the Knicks will be too good. At home, I think their offense clicks, and away they go. So I'm going to take the Knicks to close out the Celtics, game 6 at MSG. I don't feel good about it because Boston have just shown, like, Joey Muzz, mate. He'll get them up and about. But I think defensively, Tibbs will just be able to go, right, Jaylen Brown, we're going to make Jrue Holiday and Derek White beat us. And if that happens, so be it. We'll try to beat them in game 7. So I think they were just a little bit complacent in game 5, and here we are. Game 6 at MSG, the Mecca. And then Monday, Denver OKC. At the moment, it's listed at 5:30 a.m. our time. Bloody hell. The line is OKC minus 7.5. And I'm taking Denver plus 7.5. Because we don't really often... I mean, game 7 blowouts happen. I just don't know if Denver have quite enough to get over the top in OKC. And if they do, I don't want to be the guy going, see, they didn't have like the experiences, the scars. I don't want to go against the experienced team up against the lesser experienced team. Because we see this time and time again where the team that wins a lot of games but hasn't won through playoff series again yet just fall a little bit short. Sometimes we do see those young teams just still fly through thanks to a bit of luck and make a Eastern or Western Conference Finals. We saw Dame's Blazers team do it, Trae Young and the Hawks, etc. But OKC have literally just done sweet dick all apart from last year. I'm going to take Denver plus 7.5 because I think Denver can win that game. But also, I think if OKC do win it, I don't think it's by much. So that's where I land at the moment. That's going to be fun. But we'll probably do a Sunday Tins with Jim video as well Sunday night, just to sort of rehash and talk that one out on Sunday. So keep an eye out for that. But otherwise, I guess that'll do us for now, won't it? There you go. There you go. What a week it was. Remember, you can follow all the picks, all the vibes, all the same gamers, all that sort of stuff over at Double. Use the code NBA Straya. Sign up using the link in our bio or in our show description. So we'll be popping back on for Sunday night for a Sunday Tins with Jim video. Check out the socials for that. You can follow us over at Twitter, Facey, IG, TikTok, and YouTube to see all those. We're all over the socials. Get around NFL Australia as well. Rate, review, star, subscribe across all the things, right? Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, whatever app you use on your weird Android phones. It really does help. You can also buy us a coffee or shout us a beer. Use the link in our bio to go do that. That's across all the socials as well. And of course, as I said, dabble. Use the code NBA Straya, follow and couple of our bets. Big thanks always go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song They Rule. So do House Hats, Joshua Delarentis, Fascinating Gold Mines, Ramshackle Army, Iowa, Section I, Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes you hear throughout the show. So smash them all on Apple Music, Spotify, however you listen to your tunes. Do so. NBA Australia Sports Train bands like The Living End, who were fucking awesome last night. Right, that'll do us. We'll close out with a classic Cooking with Bainesy, I reckon, and we will see you on Sunday night, and then again for a full show on Monday. Game 7, baby! Can't fucking wait. Game 6 is going to be off its head tomorrow morning as well. What a weekend it's going to be. Can't wait to chat about it with you next week. We'll catch you then, you dickheads. This is NBA Australia saying, look after yourselves, would ya? And let a go!
Cooking with Bainesy is filmed in front of a live studio audience. And now it's time for Cooking with Bainesy with your host, Aaron Bangers Baines. Yeah. All right, g'day. Oh, g'day. Oh, look at yourself. Yes, g'day, Cheryl. I always see you down the front. Yeah. All right. Oh, come on, settle down. Thanks very much. Yes, welcome to Cooking with Bainesy. I'm your host, Aaron Bangers Baines. And look, on this here episode, we are going to whip up one of my all-time absolute Aussie favourites. It's going to blow your mind. You can have it whenever. It's an absolute bloody treat. It is the classic party pie. Yeah, that's right. We're going to cook up some party pies for you on this episode of Cooking with Bainesy. Now, I love me some party pies. They're easy as, mate. Definitely helps keep up this physique, you know what I'm saying? I reckon I probably put away about 40 of these buggers per week, eh? Easy. All right, so. All right, you ready? So it's bloody simple, mate. Yes, all you gotta do is go down to your local soupy and just grab a box of party pies of whatever takes your fancy. Because look, now, I like the round ones, and you can get a pack of 24 of patties, but I do also like the 4 and 20 party pies, which come in those rectangles. They're a bit easier to eat because you can just grab the end and you're not going to burn your tongue. So whatever you prefer, just don't fuck around with the party packs. The sausage rolls are absolutely bloody rubbish. So, now, it's bloody simple. Just preheat your oven to 250 degrees or as hot as you bloody well want. Dump all 24 of your party pies. Don't screw around and only do 12 or half of them or whatever. Put all 24 out there because you're going to eat all of them. Trust me, you're going to eat all of them. When she's all heated up, your oven, put your tray in there. Just, I don't know, look at the back of the package. See that it says 30 minutes. Now, go crack a tin. Sit back. Hang out. Once they're done, grab them out. Load them up with a bit of tomato sauce. And Bob's your bloody uncle. That is awesome, isn't it? Just look at it now. Look. This is very important. Give them a second to cool down. You probably have to only bite like the edge of one of them to open it up just to see how hot it is. Because otherwise, you'll burn your bloody tongue because the insides of these buggers are like bloody molten lava, eh? So, grab yourself another tin. Wait for them to cool down just a little bit so they're not bloody molten lava. Then get your bloody munch on. Oh, there you go. Look at this one. That's an absolute bloody ripper. The best bit is, these are as good as anything for any occasion. You got mates coming around, party pies. Missus with some of her mates, party pies. Kid's birthday, party pies. Getting home shit-faced after a night out on the Terps, party pies. Easy. They're just bloody delicious, mate. All right, look, I'm just going to munch in this, and I'll probably cook up enough of them for all of you. Look at this. Here we go. Oh, how easy is that? Love it. All right, so get into the party pies, and that's it for this week. How easy. All right, tune in next week for a new recipe, and we'll see you then on the next episode of Cooking with Bainesy.
G'day legends, your mate Jim from NBA Straya here. That's right, I'm doing a thing at the end of the show. In the business we call it a thing at the end of the show, I guess. I don't know. Either way, all I'm just saying is just make sure you're rating, reviewing, starring, subscribing across all of the apps that you use for NBA Straya. Jump in the comments, give us a shout. We'll bang you in yeah, nahs. Any other questions, I'll have a crack. I've got nothing better to do, basically. Also, just ask any questions, tell me what you want to hear from the show, and sing out and let us know. And of course, if you want to help support the show, jump on the old dabble, use that code NBA Straya, click on the link that's in the show description or on the socials. It goes up whenever I do the morning vibes, etc. So, if that's your thing, jump on there, use that code NBA Straya, and remember, look after yourselves, would you?
This house feels empty without you.